Circus and Rising. Welcome back. Yes, so first things first, I do want to apologize for the state of my bookshelves. I did some reorganizing and stuff like that. As you can see, I'm bringing up a few books from here and then there. So I'm still going through that kind of stuff. So I do apologize for that. But this video is going to be a Purging and Choosing my TBR. I did this video last year. I'll link it right up there for you guys, and I actually really enjoyed it. Before we get into it though, I do have to go through my delayed December wrap-up. Nothing. I didn't read anything. I decided to DNF the Damnation game by Clive Barker. I don't know, it just wasn't working for me. I was still kind of confused about like the world and that kind of stuff and like the politics of it. And I really wanted to get into this book and really wanted to enjoy it because the premise seemed really interesting. And it seemed like from the first chapter we were really gonna get into the main premise that's on the back of the book. I just felt like it completely just like derailed, and then around this part of the book in the middle is when it started to come back. I'm just like, okay, I get why I read all this, but like, why did I read all this? Why couldn't we have just started with him getting the job and then do a few like recaps and stuff like that, and then more like stuff happens. I'm just like, I just don't feel like reading it. Will I return to this book this year? I don't know, maybe. But yeah, I didn't read anything in December. I was kind of reading some still. I was like, let's just like hold off, not stress about this reading, and then we can start the new year strong. So okay, so I have 158 in my to want to read section. A few of these books are not going anywhere because I think I added like 20 books from like this new year coming out in preparation for other videos and like books I'm most excited for and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of these books are gonna go places because I don't want them in my TBR anymore. Tenet by Katrine Engberg. It has a 3.57. This one I kind of fought with last year. I was like, do I want to get rid of it? Does it interest me enough? I don't know. I don't think so. Like if I do pick it up, great, but I don't want it on here anymore. It doesn't have a high enough rating to really keep me interested or anything like that. One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. This one I am really wanting to read still. The only problem is they haven't really made a book in paperback yet, so I'm just waiting for that. The Shadow Between Us by Tricia Levenseller. This one I've kind of battled with because it sounds really interesting, but like again, there isn't really a paperback. It's supposed to come out this year. But like I still don't even see the hardback in stores, but I think I'm gonna hold on to it just because it's so dark. All Your Twisted Secrets by Diana Irvin. This one, despite the rating, I know this is contradictory, I am going to continue to hold on to this one because A, the cover is absolutely beautiful, B, the premise is really interesting. So, Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This one I do really want to read, don't get me wrong. I saw it was in a Barnes & Noble sale the other day, and I almost got it. But my issue is Leigh Bardugo is going to make this into a series. So it's Alex Stern #1, and she's like trying to make #2. I'm just like, I don't want to read this book and then wait for the second one to come out and then be confused. Like, I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to wait until she comes out with that one. The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stewart Turton. This one I really want to read. It's been on my TBR for a long time. I just haven't gotten around to it. From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Emerson. This one I really want to read. I've heard really great things about it, but I just can't find it in paperback for like a reasonable price. King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. This is the same thing with like Ninth House, and that I really want to read it, but King of Wolves? Wolves of Scars? Scars of Wolves? The sequel to this one, it's in hardback, you know, so I don't want to read that one and then wait for the other one to go. So I'm just going to wait for the duology to come out in paperback, then I'll read it then. Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This one I really want to read. I think I'm getting into like that mystery thriller like reading mindset. Oh my god, let's do it. The Bone House is by Emily Lloyd Jones. This one I really did want to read for a long time, and then I saw it in a bookstore the other day, and I read the back of it again. It revolves around Fae. You guys know my opinions on Fae. I'm not dealing with it again. Storm and Fury by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This one I really want to read. I don't hear too many people talking about it, despite her being such a popular author and her series Blood and Ash getting a lot of praise. So I'm like, let's focus on this one. The Bird and the Blade by Megan Bannon. Again, this one I really haven't heard that much about. I can't tell you really anything. I just know it's a YA fantasy. Genesis by Brandon Reeks. This one is a sequel to Nemesis, which I absolutely loved. I just can't find this one anywhere for a reasonable price because it's so rare. A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallero. I don't know, this one just doesn't really interest me anymore. I might pick it up sometime, but like the rating isn't good enough. And like I feel like it's a retelling. I just don't do retelling. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, keeping that. The Shadows by Alex North, keeping that. The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, I'm keeping that. I'm just waiting for the entire series to come out in paperback, which by the way, I do love the colorful paperbacks. I like the white ones and I like the colorful ones, so. A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow. This one is a tough one for me. I saw this one in the store the other day too, and I almost got it. But I'm like, I don't really feel like reading this type of book right now, so I didn't get it. And this isn't a big issue, but it seems to be like a contemporary fantasy revolving around like social issues, which isn't a bad thing. My only fear is that because I dislike contemporary so much, especially within a fantasy setting, so urban fantasies I really do not like, is that it's going to spend too much time in the human world and I'm just going to be like, get to the siren part. Like that's my one concern. I think I'm going to keep it on here just because I like sirens, but... The Car Rider by Kaylin Josephson, keeping that. Seasons of the Storm by Ellie Cazamano, despite the really bad rating, I'm keeping that. Sadie by Courtney Summers, I'm keeping this one. I don't know if I want to actually read this one or listen to it from Audible because it is in podcast form, I've heard, so I have no idea. The Wasp Factory by Ian Banks. This was recommended by Paperback Dreams. I really honestly just don't know anything about it, so I'm gonna get rid of that. You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. This one is one of the contemporaries that I'm interested in, but I just haven't been in a contemporary mood, so I am going to keep it. I've had the opportunity to buy it, but I'm like, I'm not going to read that if I buy it now, so I don't know. Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. This one is really interesting because I don't hear a lot about it, but the things I do hear is really good. I've heard it's like a mix of like Six Foot Crows and other stuff, and I've read the like blurb, but it sounds really dark, and it's like, yes. So definitely keeping that one. Ever the Hunted by Erin Summerhill. Despite the really bad rating, I'm still interested in that one. A Deadly Education by Amy Novick. I do own this one, haven't gone around to reading it. Heartless by Marissa Meyer. Now, despite me saying that I really, really, really dislike retellings, I think I'm going to keep this one on. I might go back, I don't know. The Hypnotist by Lars Kepler. I don't know, I don't think this one really interests me anymore. Like, I reread the blurb like back in October to see if I was going to buy it. I was just like, not really my thing, to be honest. If you hear noise, that's my cat, I'm sorry. The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. This one I'm keeping. I haven't really seen it. I've seen it like at a Barnes & Noble before, but that's about it. But I've heard really good things about it. Broken Monsters by Lauren Brewerks. I have this one in Audible, so hopefully I can get to it this year. The Collector by John Fallis. I honestly don't know what this one is about. I know it's a horror book, but the fact that I don't know anything about it just means that I didn't care enough to remember anything about it. So I'm going to get rid of that one. The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Definitely keeping this one. It kind of, like, I've heard people compare it to Caravel, which I absolutely loved. Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. This one I'm keeping. Just came out with a sequel and a hardback, so I'm like, I kind of want to wait till, that one's in paperback. Nocturne by Maya Moten. Despite the poor rating, I'm keeping it. This one has been I've been interested in for a while. The Black Kids by Hammond's Christina Reed. Keeping this one. It's about LA riots, I believe. The Princess Trials by Cordelia K. Castell. I really don't know enough about it to keep that on my TBR list, to be honest. The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. This one I'm just waiting to come out in paperback, to be honest. The Whisper Man by Alex North. Keeping. The Girls by Emma Klein. Despite the horrendous rating, I'm keeping it because it's about cults. The Chestnut Man by Soren. I'm keeping that one. Fable by Adrian Young. Keeping that one. I'm just waiting for paperback. Agnes at the End of the World by Kelly McWilliams. I own that one right here. The Ashenborn by Matthew W. Finn. I know nothing about that, so we are getting rid of that. If I find it on another site, great. Broken Things by Lauren Oliver. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to forget this book and I want to read it. So I think I'm just going to keep it. What Should Be Wild by Julia Fine. Oh my gosh, this rating. I think it's also about witches, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's about witches, and that rating is not justifiable for me to read about a magic system that I don't particularly like. The Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand. I want to read this one really bad. I just haven't been able to find it. Lore by Alexandra Bracken, waiting for it to come out in paperback. House of Hollow by Sutherland Crystal, paperback. Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackwith. I'll get around to it eventually. Blood by Amelia Wynne Zaho, keeping. The Death of Bees by Lisa O'Donnell. I think my ex-roommate recommended this and I don't know anything about it. I'm getting rid of that. I don't know anything to keep it. Between Ink and Shadows? I don't remember anything about this, but that rating is just so bad that I know I can find another YA fantasy that will satisfy me more than that one. Circe by Medina Miller, excuse me. This one I'm 100% keeping. I absolutely love Greek mythology, and I've heard really good things about this. Dividing Eden by Joelle Chabonnet. This one is just hard to find, but I do want to read it. You Must Not Miss by Katrina Leno, despite the really poor rating. I'm gonna hold on to this. I honestly don't really know what it's about. I've read this blurb I feel 20 times, and I just don't know. Yeah, that seems interesting enough despite the poor rating. So, here are Restless Things by Cole Nagamochi. Oh my gosh, that rating! I want to keep it because the premise seems really interesting and the cover is absolutely gorgeous. But I don't know if that rating justifies it. I feel I still want to read it, but just because of the rating, I know I won't like it. So I think I'm just gonna get rid of it. It pains me to do that, but that rating, 3.21. I'm sorry, no. If I Disappear by Eliza Jane Brazier. Oh my gosh, this was another book that I was really excited for. It was in one of my most anticipated for the year. I'll link that video up there for you guys, but 3.15. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I kind of want to read it just to talk about it, so I think I'm gonna keep it. I don't know. The Infinity Courts by Akima Dawn Bowman. I'm keeping this one. It really does still interest me. These Feathered Flames by Alexandra Overy. Keeping. Escaping 11 by Jerry Chisholm. I believe he just came out with a sequel to this, so good for him. The Forest of Sullen Girls by June Her, waiting on paperback. The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna, waiting for paperback. The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. I saw the sequel to this one the other day in the store, so I'm just waiting for paperback. Thought of Sparta by Claire Andrews, waiting for paperback. As the Shadow Rises by Katie Rosewell. This is a very difficult one because I enjoyed There Will Come a Darkness. I enjoyed it. I only really liked 2 characters though, and I felt that book was like a prequel to like the sequel, but at the same time, this one has a 4.20, which I believe is higher than the first one. So I'm like, maybe, you know, it's just because the other one wasn't, I don't know, as good. Yeah, the other one has a 3.80. And I feel like if I enjoyed the 3.80 relatively okay, I'm really gonna like the new one. So I think I'm gonna keep it despite me kind of losing interest in the series. A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. This one is a Hades and Persephone romance, so I'm just gonna wait until I'm in like that romantic mood, but I do want to read the series, which is Steeped in Gold by Cyan Smarts. Oh, I had no idea this happened to this book. That rating, I had no idea. I thought everyone really liked this one. I don't know, like I was really excited for this book again. It was in like new releases. I'll link that video up there for you guys. And like, despite Witches not being my favorite magic system, everyone's been raving about this book, so I'll give that magic system a chance. But like, if people who like witches are not liking it, then I really feel like there's no way in hell I'm gonna like this one. That's disappointing. I was really excited for that. I thought that one was gonna have like a 420. Oh wow, I had no idea about some of these ratings. Ooh. The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa. This one is a retelling kind of 1984, which I absolutely love. I do have this one in Audible, so I will be listening to it. Wings of Fury by Emily R. King. I honestly don't really know what that one's about, but I think I'm still interested in it. I just don't know what it's about. The Project by Courtney Summers. Despite this really bad rating, I still want to read it because it's about a cult. The Initial Insult by Mindy McGinnis. Despite like no one talking about this book, like ever, like even when it first came out, I really only saw this from the publisher's like Instagram. I was like, oh, that's coming out, cool. It does sound really interesting. It sounds like really dark, and like I've said this before, like if the character work is strong enough, I don't mind just having two characters sitting in a room talking, and I think that's kind of the premise of this one, so I'm like, let's do it. So I want to keep that one. If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I have no idea what this one is about, but I think it's about anti-heroes and the ratings are good. The Cost of Knowing by Brittany Morris. Waiting for paperback. Imposters by Scott Westerfield. I have no idea what this one's about. I don't know. This one, it seems interesting. It seems like it's about like mobs and stuff like that, which interests me. I don't think it interests me though, like outside of a fantasy setting, kind of like Six of Crows. But at the same time, I've seen Peaky Blinders and I really enjoyed that one, and that one had nothing to do with fantasy. So I think I want to keep This Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron, keeping. Ember of the Night by Molly E. Lee, keeping. They'll Never Catch Us by Jessica Goodman, keeping. The Mary Shelley Club by Goldie Moldova. I have no idea what this one is about. Oh, now that I read the blurb, I understand. I understand why I was interested in that. That's cool. That's really cool. Okay. Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard. I don't know, like I've heard mixed things about this book and just her writing in general, because, you know, I've read part of Red Queen, I think it's called Red Queen, and like I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, but I think I'm gonna hold on to this one. Not My Problem by Sierra Smith, just waiting to be in a contemporary mood. Nicholas de Demosio. I think I'm going to keep on the House at Death Belt by Mel Stone, keeping that one. Where She Fell by Caitlin Ward, have it right there. Dustborn by Aaron Bowman, keeping. The Written by Ben Galley. I don't really know what that one is about. Let me check. Okay, yeah, that one seems really interesting, and I haven't heard a lot about it, so maybe we can, like, I don't know, show a few people. A Song of Wraith and Ruins by Rosina A. Brown, definitely keeping. Ace of Spades by Farida Bekilamedi, keeping. The Desert Prince by Peter V. Brett, keeping. I don't really know what it's about. The Kind of Poison by Natalie May. You know, I just kind of read the premise and that doesn't really interest me. I might pick it up, but like that's not my cup of tea right now. Dark and Shallow Lies by Ginny Myers Sane, keeping Once Upon a Broken Heart, waiting for paperback. All of Us Villains by Amanda Foody. Oh, that's the person who did the other one. Cool, I had no idea. Keeping 14 Ways to Die by Vincent Ralph Have. Audition by Rio. Despite this really bad rating, the horror movie interested me, but at the same time I was like, do I really need to, you know, see this? If I've seen the horror movie, I think I'm gonna keep it just in case to like remember, but I don't know if I'll read it. The Maidens by Alex Michaelandis. Despite this bad rating, I'm keeping it. I'm still interested. Ashes by Iona Wayland. I have no idea what this one is about. Okay, so that one kind of sounds like a horror, so I'll keep that one. Where Dreams Are Said by Janelle Angelis. I'm just waiting for the sequel to come out in paperback. The Obsidian Tower by Melissa Caruso. Despite really not knowing that much about it, I've heard very good things about it. The Hive by Greg Olsen. I put this one on my TBR because it was everywhere in my Goodreads. I'm like, fine. But I don't remember anything about it. I don't know, like parts of it kind of interest me, but not really. I think I'm gonna get rid of it. I don't know, that just, like it doesn't seem to focus that much on like the murder aspect of it for me, so. Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim, keeping Breeder by Hani Van Rijuna. I don't know, like on the one hand, that one sounds like really interesting and the rating is really good. I just don't know if I would really like it because it kind of sounds like a dystopian with like the cliche resistance. I don't know, I'll think about it, I'll come back. Perfume, the story of a murderer by Patrick Shoeskin. Really interested in this one. Inferno by Dante Alrimu. Really interested. Our Dog Duet by Victoria Shaw, which is the sequel to The Savage Song. Really interested. This River Has Teeth by Erica Waters. Keeping Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Lady Taylor. I decided to give her another chance even though I really didn't like Strange the Dreamer. Defy the Night by Bridget Chimera. Keeping The Dark Infinity by Kate Pentecost. Keeping Truth or Dare by MJ Arledge. Absolutely keeping. The Woods Are Always Watching by Stephanie Perkins. Oh, 309? 309? Are you kidding me? Really? Yeah, no, I'm not keeping that. Like, even people who like gave it like 4 stars, like B. I'm like, No, I'm getting rid of that. That's no. Luminous by Mara Rutherford. Keeping This Petrified Flesh by Cornelia Funke. I really kind of forget what it's about, but I'm keeping Queen of the Conquered by Kaysen Calendar. Ooh, that rating. I need to look at this. Hang on. So it interests me enough to keep, and the cover is really pretty. The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. Keeping Senlin Ascends by Josiah Bancroft. I've heard really good things about this area. Definitely keeping. A Drink Before the War by Dennis Lehane. Oh, I know. I like added a few of his books onto my TBR after Shutter Island. So Keeping in the Mystic River, Keeping Small Favors by Aaron A. Craig, Keeping For the Wolf by Hannah Witten. I already have it. The Obsession by Jesse Q. Sutano. Keeping Beast of Prey by Ayanna Gray. Keeping, she's already coming out with a sequel. Good for her. The Throne of the Five Winds by S.C. Emmett. Keeping Firekeeper's Daughter by Angelina Foley. Keeping Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. The first book, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, did not blow me away. I'm not gonna lie about that. But I think I'm still gonna read this one. I just need to wait for it to come out in paperback. A Wish Too Dark and Kind by M.L. Blackbird. Keeping? Question mark? I really don't know what this is about. Okay, so this one is kind of like Clue. It interests me enough to keep it. The Escapement by Lavi Tidar. This one kind of sounds like it's urban fantasy. I'm not, no, sorry. No, I think I entered like a sweepstakes. That's why it's on there. Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. Definitely keeping. The House of Gucci by Sarah Gay Forden. Despite this rating, I'm keeping it. Really interested. You'll Be the Death of Me by Karen and McManus. Keeping. The Starlight Crown by James Rowlands. I don't know what this is about. This one kind of reminds me of There Will Come a Darkness. I don't think it interests me that much. Grace of Kings by Ken Lure. I don't think so. I don't think I'm gonna keep this. I'm not gonna keep it. I don't even know when I added that. It says December. I don't remember doing that. That was only a month ago, so. The Way of All Flesh by Ambrose Parry? I don't really know what it's about. Okay, so it's like a historical fiction thriller mystery about serial killer? I have no idea. A Terrible Fall of Angels by Laurel K. Hamilton. Keeping, I don't really know what it's about, but like, I remember just being like, ooh. Every other book is books I'm excited about for this year, so that's kind of a spoiler. And so this is the part where we choose my TBR. I think I'm gonna do it with my top 25. We'll do 25, top 25 books. The twist here is that last year I hadn't bought any of them. This year, I have. So like I just couldn't wait. I'm like I need to get these and like read them because like I'm coming out of a slump. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know what to do. So I got All Your Twisted Secrets, Ace of Spades, and then Storm and Fury. So I will be reading these, and I don't have it with me right now, but I have started Truly Devious, and I'm actually really enjoying it. But I need your guys' help, and like, you know, if one of these books fall through, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to read it or something, giving me like your top picks of what I should read next. And who knows, this could even travel over to next month. I'm like, I want to read that. So here are the books that are out of the question. One of Us is Lying, The Shadow Between Us, All Your Twisted Secrets, Ninth House, From Blood and Ash, King of Scars, Truly Devious, Storm and Fury, The Crow Rider, You Should See Me in a Crown, A Deadly Education, and that is it. So that leaves you guys with The Bone Shard Daughter, Heartless, Ever the Hunted, You Should See Me, I said that one was off, didn't I? Sadie, Seasons of the Storm, A Song Below Water, The Poppy War, The Shadows, Frankenstein, Genesis, The Bird and the Prey, and The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. So that is it. Let me know what books you're excited for me to read, or if you are excited about the books that you're reading, let me know down in the comments below. And if there was a book that I took off of here and you're absolutely like, why would you do that? Also let me know. And that is it for the video. Really all I can say is I'm excited for this year. Last year didn't feel real. It felt like a week. Happy 2022. I hope everyone had a very good New Year's and New Year's Eve and New Year's. I did. I had to work both days though, but it was still fun, and I really enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys will want to read down in the comments below. Thank you as always for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. And it means the world to me if you follow me on my other social media, such as Instagram, Facebook, and my writing platforms. Those will be listed down in the description below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!